2 minutes before going home time. In my head, I whispered, "Brace yourself, Amy. The great pretend is about to begin." My body slumped deeper into my swivel chair, already emotionally packing up while my hands pretended to still be in the zone. Outside, the world was golden, that warm, soft light that screamed freedom and Netflix. Inside, a hostage situation, disguised as a workplace. Suddenly, like a synchronized panic attack, the office woke up. Keyboards exploded into fake work mode. Emails were drafted with Olympic urgency. Files were shuffled so violently you'd think we were hosting a live reenactment of a tornado in accounting. Even Chris, bless his conspiracy-filled soul, was smashing his keyboard like a man with a purpose. Only yesterday, Chris had spent 3 uninterrupted hours educating me about how pigeons are not real birds, but government surveillance drones. Today, Chris was apparently drafting a very urgent client report with the intensity of a man trying to disable a ticking time bomb. In my head, look at us, the final hour gladiators, the knights of pretend work table, united, yet exhausted beyond repair. I stared at my screen, willing an email to write itself. Nothing. Instead, an empty Word document blinked at me, cruelly highlighting the lack of motivation radiating from my soul. In my head, I typed, "Dear Management, today I achieved record-breaking levels of appearing busy while actually moving no significant corporate needle whatsoever. Please consider this my application for Senior Pretender, Grade 3. Meanwhile, real-life Amy was scrolling through recipes I was never actually going to cook. Ms. Patel, my boss and part-time Bond villain, floated past my desk, clipboard in hand, smile weaponized to guilt employees into unpaid overtime. I quickly clicked back to my inbox, slamming my fingers dramatically on random keys like a kid mashing buttons in Mortal Kombat. Chris, 2 desks down, made desperate eye contact with me. The look of a man ready to fake a seizure just to escape another quick task before you leave ambush. I gave him a solemn nod back. We understood each other. We were soldiers in the same unwinnable war. In my head, one team, one dream, survive until 5 p.m. without catching an extra assignment. The tension in the office grew thick enough to butter bread with. Phones rang, some genuinely, most staged. Some people even staged whispered conversations. "Yes, sir, I'll have that report on your desk before I go home, no problem, sir." Meanwhile, their screens showed Facebook Marketplace ads for second-hand air fryers. It was performance art, honestly. Somewhere out there, struggling actors should study corporate workers at 4:59 p.m. for inspiration. I opened a random Excel sheet and scowled at it, hoping to give the impression that I was deep in the trenches of data analysis. I even tilted my head like a confused owl, just for dramatic effect. Ms. Patel was doing her rounds, clipboard taking away sins. Every so often she'd pause, observe, and make a small, disappointed noise, the kind that said, "Could work harder," without actually speaking. In my head, I was composing a rap diss track titled, "Ma'am, you scheduled 5 meetings and wondered why nothing got done." Chris Fake sneezed so loudly he startled himself. His desperate attempt to look unwell earned him a suspicious glance from Ms. Patel and a barely concealed grin from me. At exactly 4:59, 20 p.m. ping. An email, Ms. Patel. "Before you leave today, please send me a brief summary of today's achievements for my report. Thanks, champ." Champ? A word used exclusively by people who would happily watch you drown if it meant getting a 2% bonus. In my head, achievements? Sis, unless surviving your 2-hour meeting with no will to live counts, this inbox is staying empty. Nevertheless, I cracked my knuckles like a world champion liar and typed. Today, I collaborated across departments, optimized project workflows, and engaged in strategic resource alignment. Translation: I replied noted to 2 emails and survived on fumes and silent prayers. Across the room, Chris was deep in his own battle. He loudly closed his laptop, packed his bag with suspicious speed, and slapped a back-in-5 minutes sticky note on his desk. Bold strategy. Ms. Patel spotted him but was too busy terrorizing the newbies to intervene. I looked at the clock again. 4:59, 50 p.m. We were almost there. I could hear the faint sound of sneakers squeaking. That was Dylan from IT, preparing for the traditional 5:0 p.m. sprint. 5:0 p.m. hit. It was like someone fired a starter pistol. People stood up en masse. Chairs screeched back. Bags were zipped at a speed that defied physics. I grabbed my tote bag already packed since lunch because I knew the game and stood up, trying to look casual. In my head, "Don't look too happy, Amy. They smell happiness. They hunt it down." Ms. Patel popped her head up like a meerkat. "Amy, quick question before you go." In my head, no, I was so close I could taste the outside air. I could hear the Uber Eats app calling my name. But on my face, a professional, pained smile. "Sure, Ms. Patel. What's up?" It was, of course, a quick question that spawned 4 follow-up tasks, all due first thing tomorrow. Naturally, I nodded along, taking notes like a model employee, but inside, I was rewatching my own funeral. When she finally released me, I staggered toward the exit like a wounded war hero. Chris caught up to me by the elevators, breathless. "You made it." he whispered dramatically, like I had just escaped Mordor. We rode the elevator down in sacred silence, 2 soldiers escaping the battlefield. As the doors opened to the parking lot, cold, blessed air smacked me in the face. Freedom. Real, beautiful, debt-laden freedom. In my head, another knockoff time Olympics survived. No gold medal, no confetti, just sore feet and an unhealthy dependency on instant coffee. But hey, small victories. Tomorrow was another corporate marathon. But tonight? Tonight, Amy was free. At least until someone remembered they forgot to CC me on an urgent email at 7:13 p.m. The end.